Hey y'all, welcome back. It is a marvelous, amazing Monday. Does that count as alliteration if I just say amazing? Like in the South, that's pretty much a whole word, amazing. So if you haven't met, I'm Karen Mayer Cunningham, special education boss, training everyone that sits at the 504 IEP table to navigate and negotiate successful student outcomes. I'm happy to say that this Monday, in every meeting, we did that. Yay! The crowd goes wild. So, missed you guys last week. I was out of town, but we are back on deck, ready for your questions. So, ladies, do we have questions? Early questions, current questions, later questions, questions about the questions?
We have many questions about the questions. And the first question about the question was, or is, a 2-day intensive. Is it live or in person? When is it?
So the 2-day on demand is recorded in the palm of your hand, and it'll be amazing. We have a 2-day live virtual, September 27th and 28th. So you can log on from your bedroom, balcony, bathtub, your boat, wherever you want to log on, and we will train you, and it'll be fantastically, amazingly live. So not only do you get the same amazing content, but you'll be able to get your questions answered, and of course you get the recording. So you can listen to my very slow voice over and over and over again.
Slow?
I talk so slow, don't I? So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
What's the opposite of slow? Oh, it's Karen Mayer Cunningham. Oh, okay. I know things are not correct with my son's IEP and everything that's going on data-wise. What evaluations or re-evaluations should I request since the school says that everything is just fine?
It's just fine. So when the school says something, what you should say is, it seems like you're ready to share the data that supports what you just said. So when somebody says something at a school, they're obligated to provide information that supports that. So just fine is not something I can track, measure, or graph. So I would say it sounds like you're about to share the information that supports your recommendation. Just fine sounds like a recommendation. So data can come from the parents as well. So one of the things that I would say is I would have you do a 3-minute cold read for your child at home, a 3-minute cold write. You get the data. If you believe that there's a discrepancy, then you also provide your own.
Does a paraprofessional need to be in the classroom at all times?
The paraprofessional needs to be wherever they need to be based upon their leadership's schedule. So it doesn't, nowhere in the IEP does it say a paraprofessional needs to be in a classroom all the time. If on the schedule of services it indicates that a student might be in need of a paraprofessional at certain times, it would certainly be a requirement to be provided on the schedule of services, or depending on where you're in the United States, it would be called the determination of services.
Excellent. And if anyone has a question, they can type it right there in the chat.
Right there. There's no chat, ma'am. It's a live feed.
Oh,
we're not chatting, ma'am. We're talking. It's a live talk. Put it in the live talk.
Let's see. The school put my 7th grader in a virtual only after a fight. He has an IEP. Can they do this?
I've never heard of this virtual thing. So I've never seen a virtual IEP. I've never seen a virtual schedule of services. I don't know how you would virtually implement an IEP. So it sounds like you might have some shenanigans going on there. And if you let them shenan once, they'll definitely shenan twice. Or again, they'll shenan again. I messed it up. Yeah, if you let them shenan once, they'll definitely shenan twice. Again. It's been a long week, hasn't it? It was a long, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Not the shenanigans.
Yeah.
What would I do if my question is too big for the limit on here?
Yeah, so, if you need support, if you need representation, if you need directions to a certain training that we have, just email us at advocate@specialeducationacademy.com.
Fantastic. How can I add an after-school program to my child's IEP? How is this beneficial?
So an after-school program would need to be a requirement of his instructional day. So the instructional day is usually somewhere between 360 and 400 instructional minutes. So an after-school program would only be purposeful and a requirement if it's part of the grading process. So for instance, let's say that your child's in high school and they play tennis, and tennis is a grade. It's an athletic grade and a credit. And you travel, once a week to go to a tennis tournament and they needed support, then that would be a requirement. But adding a program after school, you're probably going to be hard pressed to make that part of the IEP.
My son has pull-out class for dyslexia, but it is only 3 times a week. Would you be okay with this?
Well, I would be okay with it if that's what the acuity of his disability requires. And so the law says that we are to reasonably calculate an IEP based upon the student's unique circumstances. So it's not solely a name of an eligibility or even time. You could have an amazing dyslexia curriculum and it's not implemented with fidelity. You could have somebody that doesn't even know how to teach dyslexia, but it's a great reading teacher. So there's so many components in it. We're looking at a time that mitigates the acuity of their disability and teaches a student strategies to self-manage their disability. So if those 3 sessions do that, then I would say for now that is adequate.
Okay. She did also put in there, his reading is not improving, but he has great math grades.
That's awesome. So, and you have to remember, reading has 4 areas, right? So we're looking at dyslexia, basic reading, reading fluency, and reading comprehension. So everything is not dyslexia. You could also need additional support in the reading class, IEP goals, and maybe even targeted intervention for that.
Okay, so for the question that said, the school put my 7th grader in a virtual only after a fight. He has an IEP, can they do this? She then asked, so should I call an IEP?
So I don't know what happened. If this is a disciplinary action based upon a choice the student makes that required a disciplinary action, then that's not part of the IEP. If the school district did not consider his disability and you believe that the action was connected to his disability, then that's something totally different. But it sounds like this might be out of school suspension or in school suspension. So again, that is an administration decision.
What is the percentage on inclusion classes?
There's no percentage.
Okay. Maybe we can have more around that. The name is Corbin. The next one. I have a student who was evaluated for an IEP, but did not qualify. What else can I do to help?
Well, I mean, not every child that's behind needs an IEP, so we can certainly look at, targeted intervention. And I wouldn't say, what can I do to help? I would sit down with the school and say, we agree he's behind. Your paperwork, your evaluation says he doesn't meet eligibility for an IEP. What will be the next steps from the school district? I mean, it's their obligation to educate students of all levels.
Is it legal to put SPEDS kids all in one class?
So they're not SPED kids. So all students are general ed students. Some have SPED services. So they're certainly self-contained classes. It sounds like you're referring to all students who receive special ed services in one general ed classroom. That would be unusual and probably not successful for the teacher or the students.
Can a junior high class offer inclusion and no resource classes?
If you offer no resource class, you're a criminal. So the law says in 300.115 under supplementary aids and services that we have resource classes. So that's for kindergartners to 12th graders. So I don't know what goofy campus or ridiculous district, county, or city thinks that that's okay to take federal funds and to delete part of IDEA.
My son has a sensory room in his IEP. No one is taking him when he's upset. What can I do to help this?
Call an IEP meeting to make sure that we're implementing the IEP with fidelity.
Okay. The school is trying to send my son home to do only half days.
Yeah, so when they send your son home, just email them and confirm that they have expelled him for part of the instructional day and to make sure they're tracking those expulsion days. The district has an obligation to educate students with disabilities. Sending them home is not a good teaching strategy. So we need to sit down at the table and look at if we can make adjustments in what we're teaching him, his setting, or do we need to look at another setting which would support him better so that sending them home is not a consideration.
Is a goal required for every subject?
No. A goal is required for every identified need.
Excellent. Do 504 accommodations continue into college? If not, what do I do?
So nothing continues into college. When you get to college, the student with a disability would go to the disability office and talk about the accommodations that they would need to be successful.
What should I do if my child is headbanging?
You would need a functional behavior assessment, a FBA, to try to find out what is the root cause of that, right? What is the function of that? There's 4 functions of behavior. And then once we can hypothesize what one of those functions are, then we can work on mitigating it by teaching him replacement behaviors.
Okay. Now, 1 second. My TikTok jumped.
What? There's no jumping in TikTok.
There is no jumping in
2
TikTok.
words that I would like to eliminate this year. I would like to eliminate, what was it? Unprecedented. I'm sick of hearing that. And I would like to eliminate people saying I'm hopping on. I've watched a million pieces of social media. I've never seen anybody hop on. Let's not hop unless your name is Easter Bunny.
What about pop on? If you're not going to hop on,
well you can pop off. We're definitely here to pop off. Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm in Ohio. I have a child in 6th grade. They told me my daughter had to give up an elective because there are no ISs to deliver Wilson services during her ELA block. Thoughts?
Here's my other thought. Electives are actually part of the state standards for students in school districts. And so I would say I would like that legal requirement in writing by close of business before I make a decision. Oh, it's so surprising how that email, it never comes. It's like my natural hair color. We've heard about it, but we're not going to see it.
Am I able to take my child in an integrated class with his services, OT, speech, and ABA?
Am I allowed to take my child into an integrated class? I don't know what that means. Is that a statement? I don't know what the question is.
I think I misread it. Am I able to get my child into an integrated class where his services would be OT, speech, and ABA?
So integrated class is not a thing. So there's classrooms. There's classrooms with general ed students and disabled students. Is that what you mean? Do you mean inclusion? And I think you mean, can I have all those services inside of the class? We deliver related instructional services in the way that's appropriate for that child to make gains. So it's based upon their eligibility for that service and then where's the best place to do that. So that could be in a group setting, in the classroom, that could be one-on-one, that could be in a special ed setting, but it's based upon the student's needs.
If my son has a speech to text in the classroom, does he need one at home for his homework?
Nope. We don't want to continue learning. We want it to stop at the end of the day, said no one. Of course you would have it at home. Yeah. It's a support to make him successful. Somebody said, what happens if a student has caused harm to the teachers and paras, broken a hand, caused concussions? So that is not, that is a problem from administration. I am devastated that we hear daily that administrators knowingly leave children, students, staff members in unsafe situations. So sending them home doesn't fix the problem. And so the district is obligated to educate all students enrolled in their school district. So what they should do is protect everybody in the building and look at a more supported setting for that student. Going home is not a setting. And somebody said, so what do they do with them? So we have supported settings for kiddos that have high behavioral needs. We have out-of-district placements. We have behavioral units. We have all sorts of places. We have psychiatric units. We have day placements. But having their mother come pick them up, it is not a setting.
Can I ask for extra lunchtime accommodations? My son's a slow eater, and he gets major anxiety in cafeterias.
So an accommodation is a civil right. So, we don't have kids that have, longer time to eat. Probably all kids need longer to eat, right? So they could visit. But then again, if he's eating, we give him longer time to eat, then what else is happening? That he's missing part of his instructional day. So maybe we could work on, an IEP goal around feeding, right? And kind of address that anxiety piece, and just instead of just having him sit in the cafeteria by himself when everybody else is gone.
The school denied a letter from the doctor requesting a nurse on the bus due to epilepsy. Thoughts?
So a nurse doesn't stop an episode, right? If you're going to have epilepsy, if you're going to have a seizure, a nurse standing there doesn't change that. So nursing services are for students. Without a nurse, they would be in a health crisis or greatly on their way, to the hospital, right? Those are students that need oxygen, they need suction, they need things that solely a licensed nurse can provide. So we don't have nurses for something that might happen or could happen on standby.
Can you amend an IEP without a meeting and then alert all the parties that serve the student via email with an amendment?
Yep. So we reach out to the parent and we say that we need an amendment. There's two things that you could not do by amendment. Number one, eligibility. So if you're considering adding or removing an eligibility, we cannot do that by amendment. Number two, anything that has to do with minutes. Anything that has to do with minutes. So if you want to add, a new IEP goal, if you want to take away an accommodation, if you want to, do something that doesn't affect those two things, eligibility categories or minutes, you can do that by a paper amendment. The great Cindy reaches out to the great parent Elena, and she says we would like to add, a basket of puppies to his accommodation pages. And the parent said that sounds fantastic. We love a basket of puppies. And we put it in the IEP, and then we send the updated copy out to all parties.
As long as Lorraine is not a recipient of the puppy.
Yes.
Kids.
And no, it's puppies. It's a basket. Not one. It's like a Dairy Queen basket. You wouldn't just have one steak finger. It's a basket, ma'am. A basket.
Oof. Got it.
Think Texas. We like volume.
Like your hair.
Like my hair.
A kid was suspended 3 times, restrained 60 times, and sent home dozens of times. Do you think it's time for out-of-district placement?
I think it's time to consider a different educational setting for him to be successful. I think it's been time, and that's so unfortunate that we let it go all on this long for everyone involved.
My son is 8 years old. He had a perfect year last year. I've asked for extra help for him and was told no this year. They told me I need to hire an RBT to come in with him. What are your thoughts about this? What do I need?
I would like to get your goofiness in writing. Dear Goofy, will you write down what you said that I need to hire somebody to come in to work at your school district in a prior written notice by close of business? What are we talking about? Come on now, people. What we do need at schools, which is very relaxing, we need a salon. Can we just have a salon? A blowout once in a while, a head massage, a hot stone pedicure. This would mitigate a lot of issues, right?
Maybe not the hot stones because they're too easy to throw.
No, they're not meant to throw, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Is it legal to have 2 separate classes, but only one teacher?
Has she been cloned? Has she been to the University of Texas A&M and we have cloned her? I literally was on a meeting today and the teacher said, are you ready? I was his teacher last year of record, but I wasn't in his room. And you know what I said? I said, hold on. That's going to be a legal issue. But she had the data, but she wasn't in his room. Neither was I. So we're going to call your data not his data. How can you be the teacher of record, but you weren't in his room? That's amazing. I hope that you got paid double. So, no, make it make sense. If it doesn't make sense, y'all, there's a reason it doesn't make sense. So, the teacher of record is assigned to a classroom. Is this from a school in North Texas, Cindy? Is that rhymes with ISD? Is that what it is?
It could be.
What is you guys are reading specialists. What is the phonetic spelling for Like, I feel like there's a lot of vowels, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's IUKK.
Yeah. It's just, this is a good place for some Mucinex. That's what I want to say.
DM, Mucinex.
Yeah. May the phlegm be with you. I'm just saying that. Yeah.
Yes, we do have 2 separate classrooms, but only one teacher. Aides are the only one in the other room.
So every student in both classes has been denied a free, appropriate public education, and you should get an amazing, respected advocate to come in there and make a change for everybody. And we have a whole team of amazing, respected advocates that advocate nationally.
And the crowd goes wild. 2-part question. How can I set up a meeting with you? And if my questions are too long and I send them in, are they read on air?
So we put out 52 pieces of content every single day for you fine people, for free, because we want you to be fully equipped. We would love to tell you that we have a team of people that I pay that sit around and ask questions, but usually every question then warrants another question. So certainly if you need support, if you need representation, myself and our 6 full-time team members who represent families. If you need an hour of consulting, that's available on our website as well. I do that. But we can't guarantee that every question is answered on air. It's not plausible.
How can I become an advocate?
Come on. You can come do the 2-day training. It is going to equip you to be an advocate so quickly you have no idea, because we need advocates. There's 8 million children in America that have an IEP, and we would love to train you to be one of their amazing support people. So the 2-day training is available anytime. The 2-day intensive live will be September 27th and 28th. And then in October, we're starting our last group mastermind of the year. So you're ready, Freddie. Just do it. Do the thing. Do the thing and then make it better later. I saw that the other day. Perfect is never done, and done is never perfect. So just get going.
Perfect is never done, and done is never perfect. Yes, there you go. I like it. Picasso. I am a gen ed teacher. The speech pathologist is not screening my kids, and I've talked to the administrators about this. Thoughts?
They're not screening your kids? Is that a state requirement that they screen the kids? I would just say I'm very uncomfortable with you putting my licensure in play because it's a state requirement and we're not currently doing that. When should I expect that to start?
Ooh, that's good. Swan, what happens if repeat question, hang on. If you are assigned a one-to-one student, if you are assigned a one-on-one student, is it legal to have a para working with other students?
It's legal for the student to have a one-on-one for the instructional minutes of the day. So let's say that your school has 375 instructional minutes. It's on the schedule of services page. then for those 375 minutes, said student needs to have a staff member with them.
Can a district make a child wait an hour on a bus for another child at a different school?
Is waiting on the bus part of his instructional day? I guess as long as he doesn't miss any of his instructional day. We have kids that are picked up really early.
How to overcome the special treatment stigma when it's really his accommodations?
Yeah, I mean, you're not doing a parent a favor. It's a benefit of being an American that your children who have identified disabilities have the protections of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. You're not doing anybody a favor, and nobody asked for a disabled child. So really, there's nothing to be jealous of, I promise you. Nobody asked for their child to struggle.
Truth. If a student is in an autism resource, can they attend another school in the same district without ARR?
I don't know what an autism resource is. Do you mean an autism unit? I don't know what autism resource is. Resource is a setting for students that are academically behind a few years, but I don't know what you mean by autism resource.
Okay. That starts with TG for the name, just in case it comes in on the bottom.
Thank God. Is that what it stands for?
Oh, it could be. Yes, yeah. That does work. Let's see. How do I find an advocate, please? One that works in my state, or do they work anywhere?
Our advocates work in any state. Who did I visit with today? I visited with people in the great Texas and the great Florida and the great Montana. So all of our advocates are trained to, all states have the same IDEA. And so we train in all states and educate in all states and support in all states. So just reach out to us at advocate@specialeducationacademy.com and we will get you matched with somebody.
That's just spectacular. Oh, is it okay if SWD misses services during special events or assemblies every now and then?
What is SWD?
Oh, students with disability is my guess.
Is it okay if students with disabilities miss an assembly?
If they miss if there are services during a special event or assemblies every now and then.
I mean, that's so rare. That's not going to be, I mean, almost all related service providers or instructional service providers try to make up minutes for their kiddos.
Is it insanely difficult to get an IEP in Texas?
No. Nope. It might be insanely difficult to get a good IEP without an advocate in America. That might be a more accurate statement. And somebody asked if I advocate for free. I don't. This is my full-time job, so I don't advocate for free. And I wouldn't be able to advocate for free because who would I pick that would get my free services? But I'm a fee-based advocate, as are our partners. And so if you're looking for free advocates, you can certainly reach out to Disability Rights. That's a national entity. They take a very limited a set of clients, and then you might also reach out to, there's also parent resource networks that give you sort of trainings online that might be helpful for you as well.
A child has a co-taught or a co-teach in class, but doesn't get the help she needs because they are helping with the class instead of her.
A child has a co-taught class. Tell me the question again.
The child has a co-taught teacher in the class, but doesn't get help that she needs because they are helping with the class.
So the help that she's due is listed on her schedule of service minutes. So I would just, if she's not getting her minutes, I would reach out to the case manager and say, hey, my kiddo's not getting her service minutes in this class. How can we rectify that?
So a parent was left alone with a 3D level student and 2 behavioral students. Is that legit legal?
I don't know if it's illegal. It probably, was stressful. It's probably not, best practice. I don't know that each of those students were having a behavior at that moment. But certainly, teachers have to go to the bathroom. People have to step out of the room. So when you say left alone, do you mean like for hours and days? I don't, probably that would not be a good idea.
Probably not. Okay. Reread that question.
I just want to say, Cindy, have you noticed how much water I'm drinking? I'm a camel.
Yes. And I just want to know, can we get a clear straw so I can see actually how much is going up?
You will never see me use a clear straw because nobody needs to see what's going up and down in your straw. That's so inappropriate. And I like colorful straws because I'm colorful. Anybody can use a clear straw.
Okay.
Blue outfit, blue straw.
Got it. We'll just make sure that it is a color changing straw when we see the liquid go up.
The liquid went up and there was drip drops in it. I've been drip dropping all day. I was dehydrated last week with other dehydrated people and not for like fun reasons. So.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Okay. How many times can we miss inclusion minutes before admin realizes we need more support?
Admin would know that you need support because you've told them. And so the obligation is on admin. The obligation is not on teachers or paraprofessionals or special educators. They don't hire people in the campus. So again, if anybody wants to talk to me or reach out to me or get coaching or counseling or recommendations, just reach out to us at advocate@specialeducationacademy.com. We'll get that set up for you.
If a child is a transfer student to a campus, can they deny him because he may need a 504 or an IEP?
A transfer in district is determined between one principal and the next principal. So those principals might have a conversation with each other that would make the incoming principal not want to take on that student. The totality and legality of it would just depend on a million things.
Sorry, somebody did ask, so what do we do with them? But I'm not exactly sure what the question was. Okay, but maybe Cody will let us know with K. What is the difference between IST classrooms and a behavior-focused classroom?
IST?
Yes.
I mean, I've never heard of a behavior-focused classroom. I mean, we have 8 million acronyms: Apple, ASEP, YCAP, UCAP, FedEx, OPI. We just have all these acronyms. There are students that need highly supported settings. So it just depends on the student's need and the kind of program that we're implementing.
It's a new school year. How do we bring up IE with a new teacher? Does the school do that?
How do you bring up IE or the IEP?
Good question. It says IE.
Yeah, so the IEP should have been delivered to every teacher the student's going to have before the school year started. So again, we're at the beginning of the year. I would, if I was a parent, I would make a copy of my child's IEP and I would provide it to all of his teachers and ask them if they have any questions about his needs.
This is from Teach. I asked my admin for a short sheet of an IEP goals as the intervention teacher. What do I do if they continue not to provide?
Well, I can't implement the IEP if I don't have a copy of it. So there's that. And I don't want to put my license at risk for not doing what my students need. So when should I expect the copy of my students' IEPs?
I'm a gen ed teacher in California. The SPED team is just not doing their job. And then administration has been notified. There is no changes. Anything I can do?
When you say the SPED team is not doing their job, obviously we don't ever want you to put your job in play. We hear from teachers every day, all day long, asking us what to do. So Certainly, if there's a need and you could get a parent to report that to the state and a state complaint, then it could get addressed without you putting your job in play.
My son is JP scholarship recipient in private school. The IEP ended months ago and no meeting is planned. Thoughts?
I don't know what a JP scholarship is, and there's no requirements for IEPs in private school unless you had a settlement from the district and it was an agreed upon, determined that private school would be his fate.
Is it true children with the 504 plan only get extra time on major tests and not classroom testing?
No, there's no limitation to the type of accommodation you could have if you have a disability. Somebody said, what does having an advocate do? Well, hopefully an advocate lets you go back to being the parent and they represent your legal rights, your child's legal rights, and help the team craft an IEP with fidelity that enables your child to make progress appropriate in light of their unique circumstances.
Oh, so sorry. My TikTok went off. All services and accommodations are clearly documented in the IEP, right? Can they leave any out?
Can they leave any out? Certainly, I mean, somebody can make a clerical error, but certainly the agreed upon IEP should be delivered to everybody teaching the student.
How do I track services and accommodations and know that they are being implemented correctly?
How do I track them and know that they're being implemented? So it sounds like you're the parent. So I would ask the teacher, can I get a copy of you tracking the students' accommodations and their IEP goals? And they will either look at you like you have three heads, or they'll say, sure.
I was told that I cannot have a change to the IEP outside of the annual review date. Is this true?
Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids. That wouldn't be very I in the IEP, would it? Isn't that amazing that a child will not have any needs for a whole year? That's amazing. I've never met those children. I've never been a parent to those children, but they might exist somewhere in a land far beyond here.
How do I request for an inclusion class? If they put my son in general ed and he still has behavioral issues, I want him to be in an inclusion class.
An inclusion class. All classes are inclusion classes. We include students with disabilities with an IEP. We include 504 students. We include students that have medical needs. All classes are inclusion class. There's no class that exists that only allows general ed students. So if your child is in general ed and has needs, but they're being successful with supplementary aid supports and strategies, then that's success.
I'm not sure if we did this one. It was a second part. It said the doctor requested a nurse to give my son with epilepsy medication immediately if they have a seizure. And this was about on the bus.
Yeah, so at the school, if your child has an IHP, an individualized healthcare plan, their medicine will be at the school, and the nurse would be the only one that could give that medicine while she's at school. When a student's on a special ed bus, there is an aide, and the aide and the bus driver are aware of the students that have a medical plan and have had adequate training to implement emergency medication.
Who do I contact to get the speech to text at home? Do I contact the teacher, the case manager, or should I call an IEP meeting? Which is best?
I mean, you don't have to do any of that. So it's part of, I mean, speech to text is just an extension on Chrome. So I would just say, can you show me how to access his assistive technologies so when I'm working at home, we can work on the same things you are.
My son is in the K through 12 with ADHD. Can we request less work if it's overwhelming and he's already struggling?
He's in the K through 12. I'm not sure what that means, but when a student has a disability, we want to teach them strategies to self-manage their disability. So sometimes instead of less work, we might need to like sit down at the table and see if we need to modify the work, right? If we need to change the way we give it to him. But I don't know that giving him less of it will benefit him because he'll be tested on it, right? So if I give him less throughout the school, I can't just say, I'd like to have less on the test, right? So maybe we need to have chunking of assignments. Maybe we need to have shortened assignments. But just giving him less because he's overwhelmed, we need to look at why he's overwhelmed.
Can a student be given an IEP or SSPT when she needs glasses and the parents don't get them glasses?
If a child needs glasses and the parents don't buy them glasses, you would just need to track that. I mean, you can't put glasses on a child when they get to school without the knowledge of the parent.
How do I request, is there a cap, quote unquote, number of SPED students in a general ed class in Texas?
So they're all general ed students. Some students receive special ed services. So I really want us working on not saying they're SPED students. Every student in the school district is a general ed student. So is there a cap on students that receive special ed services or students that have 504 plans in a classroom? There is not a cap on that.
Why do dyslexia services on IEPs change in high school? They only have a lab now, and he can go there if he needs help.
Well, because dyslexia is a general ed curriculum that usually when a student's identified at the right time, by the time we get to high school, they've gone through all of the curriculum. So we move them to maintenance. They're never not dyslexic. And so when they've finished the curriculum, the modules, the books, the whatever, then we move them to maintenance. And certainly if they're having a need around reading, they can certainly reach out to the dyslexia provider to get some, quick interventions.
It's the first week back, and my 12-year-old son with ED, IEP, is getting threatened with an office referral because of his non-compliance. Thoughts?
So I would just reach out to the school and say, let's do something other than threaten a child with a disability. That's probably not a good modality. Let's look at a way to intervene. But a threat is not a teaching modality taught in a university. Not that I would know, because I didn't graduate from one, but I bet it's not something we teach for teachers.
I have a student that requires a one-to-one. We've already had 2 quit 3 weeks into the school year. Help, what can I do?
I don't know who the I is, but we're required to implement the IEP with fidelity. We're required during, natural disasters. We're required during COVID. We were required in the 80s. We were required in the 90s. We're required to implement the IEP with fidelity. And so we would just reach out to the school and ask when should we expect that to happen. And if there's been a loss of time that has impacted the student, he's been denied services, we would look at compensatory time.
So 3 people said they love your lives. Please don't stop. And thank you for all the free information.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you for all the people that are angry. It just makes me know that what I'm doing is good. We love the happy people. I didn't know there were so many angry people in the world. Like, I just feel like they could get like a hobby. Like, you could boil combs, or like you could paint little rocks, or I don't know, plant an ivy. I just don't know why so many people are unhappy on these social media. But we hope that that you sort through all the shenanigans and get the information that you need to serve your kiddo. And if everybody liked me, that would be odd. That would make me AI. I'm not artificial intelligence. I'm authentic intelligence.
Ooh, I like that.
And it's not about being viral. It's about being vital. I'm here all day. I'll just,
Dun-dun-dun.
Yeah.
My son was hurt on the playground, and he has a one-to-one, but in his IEP, but his one-to-one wasn't with him. Thoughts?
I mean, there's a million things that could happen, right? Your one-to-one might have had to go to the bathroom. Your one-to-one might have been helping. I mean, kids aren't in a bubble. I don't know how he got hurt, but certainly, we just need to look at making sure that doesn't happen again.
So here's a part 2 to a question we've asked. So to clarify, the amendment to the IEP without the meeting was to remove one of the 2 weekly speech sessions.
Nope, because those would be what? Those would be minutes. So anytime you have something to do with minutes, adjusting minutes, or adjusting eligibilities, you must convene an IEP. Even if your state starts with the letter, the letter it starts with.
I requested my daughter to be able to record with her iPad in class during lectures. And they said no. Are they allowed to record?
So you are allowed to do stuff in your IEP that if you couldn't do it, it would deny you a free appropriate public education. So I don't know any student that needs to record her whole instructional day to have a free appropriate public education.
I have out stats.
You have stats?
I have a stats complaint due loss of education instruction. How can I fight for tutoring?
So you probably have a state complaint.
Yes.
It's okay. The S is so close to the E on the keyboard, isn't it? That's why I stare at the keyboard when I type. So you have a state complaint for loss of what?
Loss of educational instruction.
That's going to be hard to win. You have to look at that. You don't file on, I wouldn't file on loss of educational instruction because 2 things have to be true, right, to win a state complaint. The student has to be denied FAPE. The student has to be denied a free, appropriate public education, and the student has to be harmed. So a student could miss instruction and not be harmed, right? A student could get instruction and be harmed. So when you don't have those 2 components in a state complaint, it's going to be rare that you triumph. So that's why we have digital products of how to write a robust, effective state complaint and how to write a robust, effective Office of Civil Rights complaint. Those are on Special Education Academy. It's one of the things, one of the million things that we do great, because otherwise most people just file a complaint and it's very emotional, but they don't meet the legal threshold to get a state complaint opened and then, of course, substantiated. We want our complaints to be substantiated.
I don't understand. How could one teacher be in 2 classrooms at one time?
Say it with me. They can't. Yeah, they can't. Yeah, unless you're in the Matrix, which I've never seen, because I don't watch movies where men in coats float. But no, yeah, that doesn't happen. Have you seen the Matrix, Cindy? Did you Did you live the Matrix? Was there a pink pill? I wouldn't have minded. They're just 2 pills, right? It's a blue and red pill.
Yes.
We're going to need a pink or purple pill that matches me and Rachel's undertones. We're not taking blue or red. Get it together, people. Get it together. We should have the special ed matrix. Let's do that. If you take this pill, it's not going to go good. But if you took this pill, it was like you had training from the special education boss. Let's do that.
Oh, here, I love this one. Hey there, I'm Jaded. You were my advocator for elementary school, and now I'm 21 tomorrow. Love you.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. I'm so old. I don't know how there's anybody 21 years old that I've advocated for.
Don't call my partner old. You're certainly not old.
Yes. So we'll take 3 more questions really quick.
3 more questions.
Yes,
okay.
and Kylie Duke. What a good name, Kylie Duke. That sounds like she's a country and western singer. Anybody with a pulse that loves children and is trainable and can work in high conflict situations because people see things differently, but will focus on that child can be an amazing advocate.
Are there advocates for teachers? Because I need one.
So 20% of our clients end up being school-based members because we're not just goofy to some parents, we're goofy to all parents. But we are always advocating for every teacher at every meeting that we sit in.
What is the website where I can look up all things special education boss?
So the website where you can, our website is specialeducationacademy.com. And then, of course, we put content out on all platforms every day. So certainly avail yourself of that.
Do you have an app? My husband said he heard you have an app.
I have an app, Special Education Academy. You drive to the app store and you park your car, and then you go in and they will download the app for you. That way you can just, wherever you are, I'll be in the palm of your hand.
Literally.
Literally. Okay.
And the last one. My child is in Gen Ed. He has autism, ADHD, and has an IEP. The teacher had him walk laps for getting up too often. Thoughts?
This is not 1972. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a movie. That's like the movie Walking Tall. So let's not do that. Walking laps doesn't make your disability go away. So, yeah, let's not do that again, dear. Okay, so remember, download the app, Special Education Academy, on all platforms, all applications. If you have any need, we want to serve you at the highest level or refer you to somebody that can, advocate at specialeducationacademy.com. We always have trainings. We want you to join the Academy. The Academy is every Monday night. It's the world's most amazing professional development. Sorry, I'm trying to make this stop. It's the most amazing professional development, the Academy. So just go to specialeducationacademy.com, join the Academy. We're there every Monday night, live and in charge. And so we will see you there.